Listeners to this podcast will know you as Robin Walker,
They will indeed.
and I'm going to take you back 30 years and ask you, how did you get the role of Robin Walker?
Oh wow. Okay. I would have been about 17 and a half, and the usual kind of process of acting and going up for auditions. So it was one of those processes where you would go and read, and then you'd get a call back if and then it would kind of dwindle you down, and then you would go. I went back, and I think I had about 3 or 4 different auditions. And then on the last one, you're meeting, higher and higher up, the directors, the producers, and then showing a little bit of football skills, and then finally got the call that I was the chosen one and got the part.
And how were your football skills at 17?
I not really played football, to be perfectly honest, but I was very sporty. I was very sporty, very active, and was kind of that kind of person that was like, "No, I can do that. Yeah, no." And I think in the audition, I slightly bent the truth and said that I was better than I was at football. Yeah, we had 2 weeks of training camp of football before we started shooting, where I was definitely put through my paces and learn, some simple skills and things that would kind of tide me over just to make sure that I was, on point. And I picked up a lot whilst we were filming, and so they were rusty, but they weren't bad. Yeah.
Well, the filming style of Renford ReWatched was kind of unique because a lot of the time you had one camera following you the entire time. It was almost like theatre. I mean, had you done much of that kind of acting, and how did you find it? Like, was it difficult for you to catch on to?
No, I was 18 when I got the role, and I'd only been acting a couple of years. So it was literally, I think it was like my third job. So everything was quite new and fresh. And at that age, and I hadn't gone to acting school. Was just left school and started doing it. So to me, everything was just like, the way it was. So I didn't think, oh, this is unique, this is fresh. This was just like, this is what they do, this is how it's done. And it was fast paced, and it was the sweeping kind of big shots of them like getting the whole football pitch in, and like sweeping down, and then a kick of a ball, and all of those. I mean, I remember setting them all up and just thinking that it was quite film like, even though it was a very quick paced kids TV show.
Yeah.
So I think the American kind of the bigger producers brought that side of it into the filming side of it into the Renford ReWatched. So it was yeah.
Yes, certainly. And you had quite a cast around you, mostly your age. I mean, how did you find working with them?
Honestly, I was thinking about it really just because I knew we were going to do this. So it brings back memories of thinking about filming and the time that we had together. And I just remember laughing so much. So much banter and fun. And it was just genuinely it was just a really good, fun, upbeat job to be on. And there was just always little jokes and little giggles, and it was a really good time. It was a really good time.
And quite nervous at sometimes, I would imagine, because of the way that you guys filmed it, where it was all in one shot for a lot of it. If you made a mistake, you had to go back to the beginning again
Yeah.
of like a
Yeah.
2 minute scene.
Yeah, no, there was a lot of that, but again, I mean, everyone was, even though we did mess around and have a lot of fun, everyone was really professional. We would really rehearse those longer shots first and make sure. And obviously, if you were one of the ones with the last line in that moment, you'd be like, please don't mess it up, please. And if we did, it was fine, but it was one of those things. There's always little things that go wrong, but we get there, we get it done. Yeah.
I've got a question from Luke, who co hosts the podcast with me sometimes, and he wanted to know about the fact that your sister Jade was in one episode. Was that kind of coincidental, or did you have something to do with that casting?
Course I had something to do with that casting. No, my sister was an actress as well, 5 years younger than me. And then when I was reading the scripts, I saw that there was a tiny little part for a girl of her age. And I just said, "Oh, when you're casting it, would you please see my sister for the role? Because she fits the description perfectly." And she went up for it, and she got it. So yeah, it was a little, yeah, a nudge.
And it's something of a fan favorite episode, that one.
Oh yeah, with Bruno. I
Yes.
mean, Bruno is definitely one of a favorite character. He's a funny, very funny character. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so as well. With this show, I mean, like you say, it's 30 years ago that you started, and the show ended 25 years ago. Do people still kind of recognize you as Robin Walker, or does anyone ever mention it to you?
Well, with my youthful looks, no, very occasionally these days, very occasionally. But it has happened, and it does shock me when people are like, were you yeah, Robin Walker? And I'm like, yeah, no, that is a long time ago. But I think it was because at that age it touched so many peak teenagers, and it was quite unique and before its time. And just the comedy aspect of it, it was quite adult, and the music was really kind of, it wasn't like cheesy kids music, it was really kind of indie, and it just had something a bit fresh and a bit new and different about it, and it became iconic. And so there are so many people that, yeah, look and go, wow, that had such a big impact in my life then, and they do remember. Yeah, so it does happen.
Definitely. Especially for you, as you were in, what, 13, 14 episodes.
Yeah.
What were your reasons then for leaving after a series?
Well, the sad truth is the reason well, it's not the sad truth. There was no reason other than I just thought, I've done 14 episodes. I was young, thinking Hollywood is calling, and I was literally on my way to Hollywood thinking I'm going to, become a huge film star. A little bit of ego maybe. And I think that is my only regret as an actor, as a choice to leave the show. I think it was a big mistake, and I shouldn't have done it. I had the best time filming with those guys. It was just brilliant, and it was an iconic show, and I should have stayed. So sadly I left thinking Hollywood was calling. And I remember not getting any work around that time, and I would drive past the boys and I met the new girl that was who took my place, and I just was devastated. I was like, why have I left? I want to be there. They're my boys. So it was one of those things that you think, yeah, you make a mistake. But anyway, I had 14 amazing episodes, so I have that still.
And arguably, you are one of the most memorable of the female characters that they had on that show. People talk about, say, that first episode where you come into it. And of course, other ones in that series. I mean, one that gets mentioned to me often, people ask me about the one where you go to QPR and all the outdoor filming. I mean, do you have any memories of going to do that? I mean, that must have been quite an
Yeah,
experience.
I mean, like, well, you had a very short window of time on the pitch. And it was scary. It was exciting and scary, and being in front of, like, a crowd who kind of really don't know what you're doing or why you're there, or, and it's all a bit like, oh, but you just get your head down and you just go, okay, we've just got to get this, be professional, get this done, and try and get as much footage as we can in a very short window of time. And those moments were, exciting and really, really fun to do, but nerve-wracking as well.
Well, especially because at that moment it hadn't aired on TV yet, so
Yeah.
it's not known at that point. I mean, I know it's a long time ago, but do you have a particular favorite episode that you enjoyed filming that sort of stands up for you?
Um, I mean, from all of it, honestly, it sounds a bit cliche, but there were so elements in every single episode that were really good fun. I mean, the first one where I'm, introduced and it's kind of meeting my character, and there's that moment where, I take my cap off and shake down my hair, and it's just like, oh, it's a girl. I mean, I think that's that moment of revealing Robin was quite good. But there were just moments in all of them that were just always just giggles and fun and just yeah.
Yeah, we've been rewatching the series on the podcast, and I had forgotten just how many scenes you had with Matthew Leach. A lot of times you and he are kind of on the outside looking in at a
Yeah,
lot of the situations that were going on, and the others kind of clowning around.
yeah.
Um, you're the voice of reason.
We're the sensible ones. Well, that
Yes.
was it. I mean, Robin was, she was still a reject because she was a girl, which is ridiculous. But she was the one who had the skills and the foresight of football, and was really passionate and took it really seriously. And so was Matt's character, because he would have been a professional footballer if he hadn't have had an injury. So our two characters kind of had that kind of, right, we've got to hold this together because these lot, I mean, and that's why our two characters were kind of the voice of reason with all the jokers.
Well, sometimes there was a definite formula to some episodes. What you would get is a situation, and then each one would try and solve it. And
Mm.
then you or Matt would come in with the voice of reason and solve it for real, which is usually just be true to yourself with that. Obviously, with this show, I mean, like we say, it's absolutely iconic. You went on afterwards, you did a few acting jobs. You're now doing sort of personal trainer stuff, aren't you?
Yeah, yeah. So I kind of ended acting when I was about 27, which I loved. I loved acting, and it was, I was in the Bill for a few years and Casualty, and did some films, and it was brilliant, but it is quite a cutthroat business, and you have to have a very thick skin, and you have to get used to rejection, and also you're kind of not in control of your destiny. So I had to make a decision of, like, I either stick with this and I'm in this limbo because it's up and down, or I maybe take a different career path. And when I decided to train as a personal trainer, obviously fitness, sport was always a passion. I did kickboxing and so many other things. And it just, being a personal trainer it just was just sort of like that. This is me as well. So I always thought personal training could run alongside acting. And very quickly, I realized that it would be my new passion. And I could let acting just slide behind me. And yeah, and then personal training has been, well, nearly 20 years now. Yeah, my passion and my joy.
And you're now living in Sweden.
I am,
Yeah.
yes.
What is that like?
Um, it's magical. I love it. I love it. I mean, I was at the right age we're in the countryside, and Sweden was never on my radar before, but it is beautiful beaches, lovely countryside, not many people, and a really good work-life balance. They're very into family and that kind of thing. So I'm here with my husband and my bonus son. In Sweden, they don't say stepson or stepdaughter, you say bonus son, and my daughter, my 4.5-year-old daughter. So it's really nice. It's really lovely.
Is she aware of your acting past yet, or are you going to wait a while to
She
introduce that?
has no clue what mum used to do. Um, she sees, obviously, now I do personal training, and a lot of it's all online. So she sees videos of me doing yoga and la la la. And she doesn't, she has not seen me act. So one day I'll pull out the archives and she'll be like, oh, this is what mum used to do. So yeah, not yet.
Well, certainly in the case of the rejects, it stands up incredibly well. In fact, with your character, there is it's quite progressive for the 90s, and it sort of foreshadows, the mainstream of women's football in the modern day as well, which I think is why it stands up so much.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it was just before Bend It Like Beckham. It was just before, so it was kind of like it came before all of these big kind of pushes to like, promote women's sport. And I do think that the character of Robin Walker, it was before its time. And that's why I think it does, it's such a iconic program, because it was just before its time, and still, like you say, it still stands now. I still think women do get a bit of a tough time in sport, and pushing for that, the equality is important. So
yeah, certainly. I have another question from another listener, and this is a little bit off the beaten track, but they want to know that if there was some kind of revival of the show, and there has been mutterings over the years, would you make some kind of cameo?
Yes.
You would?
Yes, of course. Of course, 100%. I mean, look, there has been talks about it on and off over the years, and I had a conversation with one of the boys about 2 years ago, and they were like, I think there might be. And I was like, I'm all in, guys. I'm all in. Of course. I mean, it would be lovely to see everybody again. And I know that we would have an absolute blast, 100%. Just call me. And nothing's happened as of yet. So, if they're thinking of it, I'm available, and I will make myself available, because it brought me so much joy back then. And I know seeing everyone again would do the same. So I would 100%. Yeah.
Did you get to keep the football kit?
Well, if I did, I don't have it anymore,
Yeah.
which would be very sad. I don't think so.
No. Well, that's fair. Just for a moment, I want to kind of shine a light on the sort of the more veteran actors in that cast. You had Alex Norton and Bill Homewood. I mean, do you have any kind of overriding memories of working alongside them? Because they've been in the industry for a long time,
Yeah, I don't think you realise when you're working with them what amazing actors. Well, obviously you knew they're amazing actors, but you just, these guys were the real deal. And you can tell when you're in a scene and they are performing, and they've just, they've got the whole set. You're just absorbed in them. They were absolute huge characters, and it was great having, Alex, his kind of character. They're both of them, they one this upbeat, happy, fun, and the other like just angry and shouting, and just very, it was great having those guys, and also all these amazing iconic guest stars that we'd have coming.
Oh goodness, yeah.
You're probably about to get to that, but it was just like, oh my God, who?
Yeah.
What? I mean, like those pinch me moments. I mean, for me, I wasn't like a super passionate football, like, supporter, but all the boys were just like, oh my God, it's so nice, he's here, and you just, So, I mean, that was really fun. So, yeah.
Definitely, yeah. So many guest stars. I mean, do you have this is a question that's not really answerable, but do you have a favorite guest star, one that you were excited about?
I mean, they were all. All of them in their unique kind of way. They were all. It was all just like, really, but no one in particular. Yeah.
Yeah. Again, a little bit going beneath here, but with one of your last episodes, you may recall you were actually captured before a match, and you worked with an actress who played Wendy, and we've looked around. We can't find any trace of, who she is or was. Do you have any memory of working with this lady?
No, how bizarre. Why is she just not? She's just disappeared.
I think so. I believe that she has a similar name to someone else, and so online it gets a bit mixed up, or it might even be the same person.
Right. No, I don't. I remember the episode, but I don't remember the actress who played that character. Um, Maybe if I saw that episode, I could have an image of her in my mind. I'd be like, oh, but no, I'm sorry, I can't help. It's a mystery.
Yeah, indeed. Because I've interviewed other cast members. I haven't asked them about this. I need to try and find sort of crew members as well. Maybe they'll have more information
Right,
on
yeah.
this. Yeah. So your business is Holly Active. Is
It
that
is.
correct? Yeah. And where can people find you?
So I'm on Instagram, Holly Active. And I have a membership site, which is hollyactive.com, where I have personal training and online workouts, which, yeah, it's all about being active and moving your body, and staying fit and well, and yeah, training at home, basically training at home for busy people who don't have huge amounts of time. You've got families, you've got stuff going on, and how can you make the best of your time, from your living room? And that's what I'm all about, because that's where I'm at in my life right now. So so Holly Active, and you'll find me.
Well,
So
as a dad of young children, I need that. I need to have a
yeah.
look at that.
You've got to stay
Definitely.
fit for them, haven't you? This is the thing.
Indeed. Thank you so much for appearing on the podcast today, Holly.
It's been an absolute pleasure, and trying to take my brain back 30 years has been a joy, even though I wish it was a little bit clearer. But I mean, it was a good time. So thank you.